Let's get back to this extraordinarily serious situation in Mumbai where there are gun battles going on right now between police and gunmen, along with two hotels frequented by visitors from other countries, by foreigners, that have been attacked with grenades and guns and all kinds of explosives. On the phone, Jeff Flock's daughter, our reporter Jeff Flock's daughter Elizabeth, works for Forbes. She happens to be in Mumbai, India right now. Elizabeth, thank you for calling in for us. We really appreciate it. Tell us what you're hearing and what's going on there right now.
Just in Marine Lines. It's in South Bombay. There was a car, a gray car with three men, and it was traveling along. There were police following it. It was not going forwards or backwards. They're not sure who fired first, the police or the men, but there were gun blasts, about 8 gun shots fired. One man in the car was shot dead. A policeman was also shot dead in a shootout. Those 3 men are believed to be terrorists associated with all the attacks around the city. The other 2 men in the car were taken into custody, and that happened in South Bombay, right near the Oberoi and the Taj, which are 2 of the hotels which are being attacked.
Okay, we're looking, Elizabeth, let me just tell you, we're looking at video of blown-out windows in these hotels and neighboring buildings. This is unbelievable. It's almost as if Mumbai is under major attack. What are the situations on the streets that you've seen? Are people hunkered down? Are they hiding? What's going on?
Yeah, there's absolutely no one on the streets right now. Everyone is in their house. There's not a single taxi on the street. No one is allowed out. Any cars that are moving need to be stopped. They're targeting really every part of the city. It's 3 hotels. It's not just the Taj and the Oberoi and Nairmont Point, but also the JW Marriott as well now. And also in Santa Cruz, another area, a bomb blast went off there, killing a taxi driver there as well.
We've got hotels that are still on fire. We have reports on Fox News that there are gun battles and attacks in some of the train stations. Any word, what are they saying about who is responsible for this apparently very coordinated high-tech attack?
You know, no one is really aware. All that's being said is that there are terrorists. No one is aware about the identity of anyone. The only 2 taken into custody thus far are those 2 men that I spoke about in the shootout, and otherwise at the hotels they're trying to get it under control, but there doesn't seem to be, because they're really targeting all areas of the city. It's not just hotels, it's in random taxis. You know, there's no real there's no coordination, so they're not sure really how to fight this, and there's just no one out on the streets at this point.
Elizabeth,
it's really not safe to go anywhere.
You work for Forbes. Obviously, you know, Mumbai is known as the financial capital of the entire nation of India. Do you think that very similar, you could almost make the comparison with the attacks on the World Trade Center on 9/11, that they tend to attack the financial hubs of the world?
Yes, it's that, but actually this year alone, almost every major city in India has been attacked. So it's really, we're not sure if it's connected to those other cities, but Ahmedabad, Delhi, all those cities have been attacked, and so it could be in coordination with those other cities as well. And Mumbai was actually really the only city that hasn't been attacked this year, and so it was something that actually people were thinking that it might happen, and now it has.
How nervous are you? I mean, people are probably nervous about protecting themselves. What is the emotion there where you are? I'm sure you're talking to neighbors as well.
Yeah, I mean, no one is out on the streets. Even the people that live on the streets are really, there's no one around. And they're saying that they're targeting, you know, high-profile people, especially foreigners. There was an attack in Leopold, which is a well-known tourist bar in South Bombay. And so really that seems to be the target right now. I think they're just trying to make it a high-profile attack. That's what's being said. I think there's fear everywhere.
You had just talked about all the other cities that have been attacked in the past year or so. Had they pinpointed whether these were Islamist terrorists?
Yeah, it was the Indian Mujahideen they claimed responsibility for the attacks.
And tell me a little bit about that group so that our viewers know.
What? I'm sorry?
It's okay. Tell me a little bit more about that particular terrorist group. What is their beef? What is their problem?
They're a Muslim group associated with Pakistan and Muslim extremists.
Tell me what I'm hearing a lot of noise in the background. Is that just, you know, people that you're with, or what's going on? Has your phone been ringing?
Yeah, I mean, the noise in the background is really, there's police in basically every section of the city. They're blocking off areas, not letting any car that's stopping is seen as suspicious. So really, that's what the noise is that's going on.
Have there been any previous threats about a scale attack of this kind?
I'm sorry?
Have there been previous threats about an attack of this scale before?
There has not been threats on Mumbai this year, thus yet. This is the first attack on Mumbai. Threats, there's really no threats. They come without warning. There's never any warning of what's going on, only taking responsibility after the attack.
Has the government been particularly offensive in its crackdown of terrorists?
Yes, I mean, this year there's call for a coordinated effort to fight terrorism in India more so than before, but it's really difficult because in every city it's happened differently. You know, in other cities it went off in trash cans, and this is the first time really I think that it's gone off in hotels. So really there's no coordinated way to fight something like this because there's always innovative ways to find new ways to do it so that it's very hard to combat.
Let me just explain, because you may not be hearing the same information, but according to the Associated Press, the death toll is now, well, it's at least 40 and possibly as high as 80. At least 100 people are wounded. Apparently, these gunmen began storming the luxury hotels just after midnight, and people were reporting, I guess a constable there was reporting, we are under fire, there is shooting at the gate. How tight is security at the hotels where foreigners frequent?
You know, I think it is not so tight. I mean, I'm not sure about the hotels. I can't speak to that. But as far as the section that I was, as far as the car, there were only maybe 10 policemen there initially. I mean, afterwards there's hundreds. But really, it seems that at each of these points there's only been a few policemen, and then afterwards, you know, they have shown up. But it doesn't seem to be initially there, the security.
Elizabeth, do you live in Mumbai?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you write for Forbes, and you've been following the... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's Forbes. The magazine has not launched yet. It's through Network 18. Yes, and I live in Mumbai.
Okay, I just want to tell you, we just got word from your dad, who's reporting for us from O'Hare, and he wants you to know he loves you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Listen,
I have
stay
orders
safe.
to go back home now. So.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
I bet. He's probably saying, "Get Liz, tell her to get back." Okay, I'm telling you right now, come home. Elizabeth Forbes, live from Mumbai on the phone. She, of course, Flock rather, Elizabeth Flock, the Jeff Flock's daughter. So thank you so much for that. You know, she gives us a really good perspective of what's going on there. Clearly a coordinated attack all across Mumbai. Just a horrible story. As soon as more details come in, we will get them to you. What, Charlie?